Welcome to Chicago Cubs baseball on CSN, presented to you by State Farm. Cool and clear here in Cincinnati. It is game 3 of a 4-game weekend set. The Cubs 4-1 so far on this NL Central road trip. And great to have you with us, Jim Deshaies and Len Kasper. We could go a lot of different directions, but we're going to go to Anthony Rizzo's direction to start the telecast tonight.
Yeah, a few years ago I coined this phrase. It's if at first you don't succeed, try again. And it applies here. Anthony Rizzo on Wednesday. You may remember this. Deep drive to center field. Thought he had a home run. Randall Grichuk went up over the wall. So not only did Rizzo not try again, but he did again. He's homered now in 3 consecutive games. Went deep in that game against St. Louis, and then first 2 games of this series here in Cincinnati, he has delivered the long ball. Watch his final swing, the breaking pitch he got last night. I mean, this bat speed, just incredible. So the big guy's heating up. 3 straight games he has gone deep. His personal record is 4 consecutive games. Perhaps he'll match that here tonight.
He has now homered 92 times since the start of 2013. That's the most home runs in the National League. Ben Zobrist with his first homer of the season in this series. Javier Baez as well. Maybe Jason Hayward is next. But the Cubs haven't really needed a ton of run support because of the starting pitching.
Yeah, best starting pitching in all of baseball. Best pitching period in all of baseball to this point in the series. In this series, you know what Arrieta did Thursday, delivering the second no-hitter of his career. John Lester, not too shabby himself, coming out last night with 7 innings of 5-hit 1-run ball.
And John Lackey off to his first career 3-0 start and coming off a gem in St. Louis.
Yeah, he got the road trip off to a great start. Punched out 11, just 1 shy of his career high and the most he's had since July of 14.
So the Cubs have scored 24 runs already in this series. They got a no-hitter from Jake Arrieta in Game 1. John Lester allowed just 1 run last night. Game 3 is next. leadoff man gets a hit. Binny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Let's check in on that Cubs Southwest starting lineup. 24 runs already in the first 2 games of the series. Fowler, Hayward, and Bryant 1 through 3. The middle occupied by Rizzo, Zobrist, and Montero getting his first start of the series. Javi Baez back in there. Addison Russell the shortstop. John Lackey the pitcher.
Reds defensively, still no Billy Hamilton. He's got a bruised thumb, so it's an outfield of Duvall, Shebler, and Bruce. Infield pretty much status quo. Suarez, Cozart, Phillips, Votto. Devin Mesoraco does the catching. Alexis pursuing perfection starting pitcher. It's a 27-year-old right-hander Dan Straley. 5th appearance, 2nd start. No wins, no losses at .270 earned run average.
And here we go, and ball 1 outside from the former Cub Straley, who was traded along with Luis Valbuena from the Cubs to Houston for Dexter Fowler, January of 2015. And he was acquired from Oakland with Addison Russell. Before that, Ed Hickox works the plate. Mike Estabrook, Dana DeMuth, and Nick Lentz in for Greg Gibson tonight. He's working 3rd. Strike called. It's 1-2.
In 2014, with the Cubs, Straley appeared in 7 ball games, made 1 start. And limited time with the Astros last year. He spent most of his time in the minor leagues. And that has been his story since breaking into the big leagues in 2012 with Oakland. Although in 13 he had a nice year. He made 27 starts, was 10-8 with a .396, and finished 4th in the American League Rookie of the Year balloting.
He has changed teams a lot here lately. Very nice night, little cool, but by far the biggest crowd of the series.
Saturday night, and there's a bobblehead giveaway.
Joey Votto bobblehead night.
Uh-oh, better pitch around him. He's been struggling, but guys usually they rise up on their bobblehead night.
Fowler went around. That ball gets away from Mesoraco, and Dexter's going to reach. Even though his on-base percentage will go down with the strikeout. It'll be a strikeout and a wild pitch.
Yeah, Mesoraco's had his problems behind the plate. Just does not look very mobile, and that's on him. I think they're probably going to change that one. So he's just not moving his feet, and he had the hip surgery last year, and it doesn't look to me like he's feeling very chipper back there.
That brings up Jason Hayward.
Yeah, Fowler is so good these days. Even when he strikes out, he reaches base.
And ball 1. You might see Fowler get a day off tomorrow. The Cubs have a day off on Monday, so there may be a regular or 2 who will get tomorrow off, and that would be 2 straight days before the Brewers series starts Tuesday night. But Joe didn't want to make any final decisions until after the ball game tonight on what his lineup will look like tomorrow. Outside on Hayward, and we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on Lamont Telephone in Lamont, Iowa. (2-0) on Hayward. Finally getting some results this week. His at-bats have been very good. And had been hitting into a lot of tough luck.
Hard contact has been the norm for him lately, and usually the power will start to follow and the hitter starts to square it up a little bit. Still looking for his first home run in a Cub uniform. Straley, a 4-pitch mix: fastball, slider, curve, and change. We'll use the slider more than the curveball. Started
spring training with the Astros March 28th was traded to the Padres for minor league catcher Eric Kratz, then claimed off waivers a few days later by the Reds. He did not pitch for the Padres or Reds during spring training, but a lot of movement for him. And has joined this rotation as they've had some injury issues. A lot of young pitchers trying to find their way. It's kind of amazing the Reds are where they are in the standings. 8 and 9 with all the pitching problems they've had. 3-2 the count.
Yeah, Brian Price has to be pleased with the one-loss record given all the issues they've had. He's bought a little time, and they need to get some pitchers back healthy.
Runner goes. The pitch swung on and missed. That's a strikeout. And the tag was missed or late. Not sure which. Doesn't matter. Fowler's safe at second. One out in the inning.
Throw inside just a little bit, and by the time Kozar was able to catch the ball and attempt to apply the tag, Fowler had passed on by.
So that's his second steal here in the early going. Now Kris Bryant.
I don't know if there's enough of a sample to get excited yet. But Kris Bryant striking out less often this year, swinging and missing less frequently than he did last season.
One ball, one strike. Straley went 5 innings his last time out.
Just not following the script.
So this is Straley's second start after 3 relief appearances.
One of his career highlights had to be his game against the Cubs back in 2013. While with the A's, he went 7 innings of shutout ball, allowed just 1 hit.
Saw him at Wrigley Field in relief on the 13th of April. Gave up 2 runs in 2 1/3 innings. Alfredo Simon will pitch tomorrow. And the pitch. Pulled too much and just out of play.
Yeah, but we've seen quick hands from Kris here in recent days, getting those hands pulled in and hitting the ball hard to left field. I mean, that ball was well in off the plate. Last night in his last at bat, a ringing double out to right center.
Two and 2 with Rizzo on deck.
Straley doing a good job keeping the ball out of the middle of the zone here, working in and out. A couple good sliders. That was the change up there. Kris wouldn't bite.
Cubs have dominated things here lately. They've won their last 8 in a row against the Reds, dating back to last year, and 6 straight here in Cincinnati for the first time since the mid-1940s. A little bit before Kris Bryant's time.
Well, going back to last year, the Cubs have won 18 of their last 20 road games, regular season road games.
On the ground to Phillips. Fowler advancing to third, but 2 outs in the inning.
Australia got away with one there. The breaking ball that was up in the zone. A bit of a cement mixer, and Chris just out in front of it a little bit. Getting off the end of the bat. That ball had some funky spin. Heading out there to Phillips. These guys are going to run out of timeouts if they keep this up.
John Lester's 7 solid innings last night, 5 hits, 1 run. Cubs pulled away late, 8-1, as he grabbed his 2nd win. Rizzo cuts and misses. They shift against him on the infield.
Anthony hitting just 194, but a 351 on base percentage with all the walks.
Slugging has gone up 128 points these last 3 days with the 3 home runs.
And he's batting .348 with runners in scoring position.
Well, that all helps the RBI total, and he's knocked in 17 already.
Game plan here obviously is velocity up and in, at least to this point.
You know, he's on a 162 RBI pace. 17 RBIs in 17 games. Straley's 2-1 is in off the plate. 3-1. Ben Zobrist would bat next.
Tough to hit home runs early in the year at Wrigley. They want no part of them.
So no hits in the inning, but a couple of base runners. And here comes Ben Zobrist. He's had a good series. 4 hits, 3 walks, 3 RBIs, including his first home run of the year.
I just want to set a revving motor sound to his action with his hands as he gets ready for the pitch. Or an electric mixer or something whirring. Just cranking it up.
Tucks that front shoulder in. And the 1-1 is popped in the air to right. This is Jay Bruce under it. And that's the inning. 2 strikeouts, a wild pitch, a walk, but no runs. series, 1 run on just 5 hits. That was Zach Cozart's home run last night. Suarez, Votto, Phillips, 2 through 4. Jay Bruce batting 5th, as he usually does. Mesoraco off to a very slow start. Duvall in left. Schebler walked twice in the Jake Arrieta no-hitter on Thursday, and the pitcher Straley batting 9th.
Cubs defensively. Chris Bryant back out there in left field for the 2nd night in a row. Fowler center, Hayward right. Baez back at 3rd. Russell Zobrist up the middle. Big Riz at 1st. Miguel Montero behind the plate. Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is the veteran Big John Lackey. 3 starts. He's won them all. 3.66 ERA. Looking to join his teammate Jake Arrieta at 4-0. 19 2/3 innings. He's allowed 18 hits. Great strikeout to walk ratio. Fastball, slider, curve, and change. Curveball was really good in that dominating outing against St. Louis on Monday.
Here's Cozart to lead it off. Lackey's first pitch is fouled back to the screen.
And he likes to attack, and as we mentioned, every start he makes. Last year he was 2nd in all of baseball in first strike percentage, just behind Max Scherzer, and we've seen hitters go up there attacking early, trying to jump him. It's a trade-off he's willing to take. You're going to get a lot of quick outs if they attack that first pitch.
Hayward makes a catch, actually overran it a bit. With a late adjustment, 1 out.
Yeah, maybe a little lights, maybe a little spin, but at the end of the day, 2 pitches, 1 out. Nice adjustment on the ball there by Hayward. 1st down, Cubs. See where that would be a little bit of an issue.
Eugenio Suarez swings and misses. His first 8 games of the year, he batted .400 with 4 homers. His last 8, hitting .156 with no homers.
This is the Reds' 2nd look at John this year. He beat them back on April 13th, 6 2/3, allowed a couple of runs.
Starts the night 13 strikeouts shy of 2,000 for his career. He probably won't get there tonight. And his 1-2 offering is hit in the air to right and out of play.
Fastball clocked at 94 miles an hour. There was a little more jump on his fastball in his start against St. Louis last time out. Looks like it's going to be the case again here tonight. He's topped out at 95 this year, sits comfortably around 91, 92.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Good hook. Really knows how to pitch, doesn't he? He works quickly. He attacks the zone. He knows when he has to be cautious. He can pitch to situations. If he needs a double play, he'll start to run that 2-seamer down, or he'll get a lot of ground balls on his breaking pitch as well.
Votto swings and misses. A pitch very much in the strike zone at 93. Off to a sluggish start. A career .309 batter.
Is that
private ceremony earlier today? Joey Votto got the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame's Tip O'Neill Award. It's the 5th time he has been honored. He's from Toronto. Award given out for his individual and team accomplishments. Only player to win it more than 2 years in a row. Larry Walker won it 9 times.
Bryant is over near the side wall. He's got room and foul ground, and that will end the inning. Reds go 1-2-3 in the first. Presented to you by State Farm.
Cub fans, the Cubs return home this Tuesday night. That's April 26th, start of a 6-game homestand featuring the Brewers and the Braves. Visit Cubs.com today and plan now for the games you'd like to see. Tickets are going fast, and just a reminder, the Cubs have added metal detectors at all Wrigley Field gates. So give yourself extra time to enter the ballpark. For additional information, visit Cubs.com/security.
And Straley with a 29-pitch first inning. Did not give up a run. Here's Miguel Montero batting 6th tonight. We saw David Ross the last 2 ball games. And a called strike.
Montero will make you work too. Patient hitter.
Cubs scoring a major league best 6.18 runs per game. Leading the NL Central by 4 going into play tonight. Pirates the only other team over 500. Cubs 13-4. The Bucks are 9-8. The Nationals will win today, so they're also 13-4. Tied with the Cubs for the best record in baseball. Duvall makes a catch. And it'll bring up Javier Baez, who impressed his manager with his all-around play last night. He did hit a home run, but that's not why Joe was impressed. He loved the defense. He loved the energy.
Base running.
Yeah, he stole a base, scored 3 runs.
A lot of bounce in his game.
So he's right back in there tonight.
And I think he really likes the look of the defense with he and Russell together.
And he bunts and it's foul. And I think the Reds might want to look at the video to see if Baez was out of the batter's box. If he was, when that ball hit him and he was in fair territory, he would be called out. No,
he's good.
He's good to go. Yeah, Joe getting him very involved since coming off the DL. This is already his 5th start at his 3rd different position. One and two.
Home run number 1 on the year for Baez last night. Breaking ball outer third, and he just reached down, hooked it into the seats and left. Earlier, he had singled in the ball game.
One-two changeup, and he didn't bite. Addison Russell on deck.
You referenced that Nationals win today. Tanner Roark, 15 strikeouts for the Nationals today in 7 innings of work. Speaks to the depth of that rotation.
That was over the 5-13 Minnesota Twins. Suarez gets him. So you got Baez and Suarez, who are both shortstops by trade, both playing third base tonight. Very rangy third baseman.
Suarez has had his issues defensively this year. He's committed 5 errors, but a fine play there. And a good stretch by the Tip O'Neill Award winner.
Here's Russell. So he and Straley came over together in that big deal in July of 14. Hamill and Samardzija went to Oakland. Billy McKinney was involved. And a deep drive left field, and that baby will go into the second deck. And the Cubs lead 1-0.
Danger throughout. That's what makes this lineup so difficult. Can't relax. 2 outs, 8-hole hitter up. Boom. That ball was crushed. And a little Ford home run replay for you. Wanted it down and away, drifted middle in.
Now he's hit 2 against the Reds. And I'd say 2 no doubters, even though the conditions were not great for the big game winner at Wrigley last week, but he knew he had gotten all of it.
Well, when the Cubs first acquired Addison Russell, and you heard and read things about him, there were comparisons to Barry Larkin. So folks in this town know what that's all about, that kind of power from the shortstop position.
Looks like they're asking him what the pitch was, and I think he said changeup. Because I'm an A+ lip reader.
Yeah, that's the danger, trying to go, right on right with that changeup. If you don't get it down and away and it floats back over the plate, bad things can happen.
3-1 on the pitcher, John Lackey. Nearing the 50 pitch mark.
Lackey 2 out of 9 with a couple of RBI already this year.
Called strike 3, and the inning is over, but the Cubs grab yet another lead against the Reds on Addison Russell's second home run of the season. It's 1-0 in the second. but having some good quality at bats before that home run. Cubs lead 1-0, and it's time for our Xfinity high-speed action. Yet a few interesting plays around baseball last night. Here was, I think, the most fascinating. The first triple play of its kind. The White Sox against the Rangers. This is the good old 9-3-2-6-2-5 triple play. I would say it's not something you see very often. I would more accurately say it's something we have never seen before last
I've seen
night.
the 8-6-7-5-3-09. I've never seen that one.
Didn't Joe do a Tommy two-tone lineup once?
Either did it or at least talked about it. Yeah.
Brandon Phillips will start it for the Reds. 0 for 7 in the series. He had 6 hits in his previous 2 games going into the set. Swing. No, he didn't.
Yeah, that's kind of ironic with all the strikes Lackey throws and as much as Phillips swings. But I think that was John. I think John said, I'm not going to throw him a strike because he's up there hacking. We'll see. We'll see how willing he is to expand. Phillips 6 out of 30 in his career off of John Lackey.
Fowler coming in, and he makes the catch. We had a straight steal of home last night. Most steals of home are on a double steal, but Jacoby Ellsbury against Matt Moore from the windup. And it was, as you see, 3-2 at 2 outs.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm sure he did this on his own. No way Joe Girardi would want him stealing home in that situation, but he beat it.
So that tied the ball game. And the Yankees would win it 6-3. So that play works with obviously a fast runner.
Pitcher in a full windup.
And probably a lefty is your best bet in a full windup, since he'll turn toward first.
Yeah.
Jay Bruce lines to his counterpart. A couple of lineouts to start this inning, and it'll bring up Devin Mesoraco. He's just 5 for 38 on the year with 1 extra base hit.
And apparently Ellsbury was quoted in the paper, quoted after the ball game, saying that he knew he was going to be safe. And when you see that replay, he was just barely safe. I'm not sure how he knew he was going to beat it. And he's lucky Garner didn't swing the bat. I guess you just can't. When you're a left-handed hitter, you see that guy screaming down the line, but it's 3-2 with 2 outs.
Looked like Mesoraco thought he was getting a fastball, and he did not. Time he did. How about Yasiel Puig last night for the Dodgers in Colorado? This is against Trevor Story, who was credited with a double, but he tried for 3, and oh my.
Not just how long that throw was, but he puts it right on the money.
Great play by Justin Turner as well. A little short hop pick. He was able to hang in there and hang on to the ball. Ball comes up on Russell, and that's the inning. That was a fun inning with all those highlights. Man, I love baseball. 1-0 Cubs.
Players Alex Brown and Patrick Menley review the top prospects and discuss who the Bears could pick at number 11. Don't miss Draft Central tomorrow night at 10:30.
That's right up the street, Paul Brown Stadium, home of the Bengals. Cubs lead 1-0.
I think they should take the best athlete available. The Bears. I'm just going to throw my 2 cents in. Either that or a safety or an offensive tackle.
I'm sure they're listening, jotting down notes as you speak. 1-0 on Fowler, and he pops it up. Short left, and it's the shortstop, Cozart, for the out. Follow In-Game Live on CSNChicago.com, presented by State Farm. Is it not the Cleveland Browns who hired Paul DePodesta to bring an analytical flavor to
you're correct.
the National Football League from Major League Baseball?
Yeah, somebody did that. Tell you what, I'd draft Jason Hayward for my football team.
The Cubs have some NFL type guys in terms of size. Anthony Rizzo. Looks like a linebacker.
Soler. And of course, Addison Russell was an outstanding running back in high school.
Matt Caesar.
There you go.
College football player at Villanova.
Well, when he signed with the Cubs, part of the deal was that he would not attend the NFL Combine.
Didn't Joe play a little quarterback?
Joe played, I think, freshman year. I think he was on the freshman team in college, and then decided to commit to baseball.
Straley's 1-2, and it's low. Dan Straley, I know you love this kind of information. He went to Western Oregon University and then Marshall University. He is the first major league player ever to come out of Western Oregon. Ground ball toward right, and it eludes Brandon Phillips. Hayward on his way to second, but he throws on the brakes. Smart play.
Rule the base hit, a play Brandon Phillips normally makes. He was trying to position himself to not only catch the ball but get into a good throwing position, and not able to secure the baseball. I love the base running by Hayward. Push, 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 push until you realize you probably got to drop anchor. He's thinking about it. Takes that big wide turn. Always give yourself the opportunity to take an extra base.
There goes Hayward. And the throw is dropped. Well, Phillips, he just slams the ball into the dirt.
Yeah,
very un-Phillips-like this inning.
Third stolen base on the year for Hayward.
All right, a little base running tutorial. Watch Hayward. He's running straight toward first, and as the ball gets into the outfield, that's when he makes that turn. Right, so his first thought is, I got to beat the throw by Phillips,
and then then
nice little adjustment.
You belly out.
Yep.
Create an angle.
And he's a terrific base runner. As Bryant bounces foul.
And obviously, when you hit the ball to that side of the infield, you have the advantage. You can see the play develop. If it's third and short, you can't really see that. You have to rely on the first base coach to tell you whether the ball got through or not. Yeah, he just knows how to play the game. One of his former mates there in St. Louis the other day was quoted as saying he's the smartest player he's ever played with.
I've got to add, Derek checking in on Twitter, Clayton Richard was briefly a quarterback at the University of Michigan.
That's right.
Down the
and he was
Cubs bullpen.
Mr. Football in the state of Indiana.
Kyle Schwarber was a good high school football player. 3-1.
Munenori Kawasaki would have been a good place kicker, I bet.
Foul.
Well, it's kind of a beat up bullpen that Brian Price is working with these days. He'd love to get some length out of Straley here this evening, but pitch count looks like it's going to be problematic.
Swing and a miss. Bryant, a rare chase of a pitch well off the plate. He's frustrated.
Yeah, I was talking in his first at bat how those numbers are down. The contact rate is better so far this year, not striking out as much. He just got a little greedy there with that man in scoring position.
And that was not even a strike to ball slider. That was a ball to ball. Never was near the strike zone. So it does bring up Rizzo, the middle linebacker. He walked in the first. And I'm not sure Straley's going to give him much to hit here with a base open. We'll see. Well, he did. He absolutely did.
Well, I think his game plan against Riz is fastball is up. Anthony hit that breaking pitch into the seats last night. I think he's going to work across the top of the zone, maybe bounce a breaking ball, but he's not going to want to leave any. That was a mistake, and he got away with it.
Over near the Cub dugout, and it's caught by Mesoraco, that late adjustment, and that will end the inning. Midway in the third, Cubs 1, Reds 0.
30th of April. The Cubs will do battle with the Atlanta Braves. First pitch is at 1:20. Up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a Ron Santo replica statue presented by TransUnion. For more information, including ticket availability, visit Cubs.com.
1-0 Cubs.
Oh, that's a unique. See, I was more of a pull the cotton candy off and then eat it.
And then eat it.
He's going straight in, ice cream cone style.
Adam Duvall. First pitch swinging, and he flies.
There you go.
To Hayward.
Now he's going
the combo
method.
thing.
Yep. Just to contrast the pitchers here, and a lot of it is just the nature of the hitters, the patient approach that the Cub hitters have, and more dangerous hitters in the lineup, causing Straley to be a little more tentative, but Lackey uber aggressive, and it's paying off for him. That's his 25th pitch. He got 7 outs on his first 24 offerings.
He seems more lift aggressive. Lift with a Y than uber.
Yeah.
1-1 on Schebler.
I get a free ride every time I use the term Uber.
Schebler 0 for his last 14. He did walk twice on Thursday as Jake Arrieta was no-hitting the Reds. And 1-2 as Lackey couldn't handle that return throw from Montero. There's a changeup. Count even 2-2. Talking about multiple sport guys. Well, Scott Schebler is from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Played baseball, football, basketball, soccer, ran track while in high school. Called strike 3. Fastball right on the inside corner. Well, earlier today, more than 6,000 runners showed up and participated in the 11th annual Race to Wrigley charity run presented by ATI Physical Therapy. They ran through the Lakeview neighborhood, and they ended up crossing the finish line a few steps away from the Wrigley Field marquee. Proceeds from the race benefited Cubs charities. And they'll also donate proceeds from all personal fundraising to support Advocate Children's Hospital. Nicely done.
I'm guessing there were some members of the Cubs front office out there running along.
Absolutely. Some of the Cubs wives ran the race as well. Here's a 1-2 to the pitcher Straley. Ooh,
yeah, could have
like
been
it.
Mm-hmm.
That time he got him looking, and the inning is over. So through 3, he has faced the minimum. Chicago Fire are back as they face off with Eastern Conference rival DC United. Coverage starts at 3:30 on CSN with the Spanish language simulcast available on CSN Plus.
Never did see how they did with the impact. How often do they play? Do you know, the Fire? Is it a once a week thing?
I'm going to say once a week usually, and maybe occasionally twice. That is a guess on my part. One and 0 on Ben Zobrist. Fly ball, pretty well hit. Looks playable though, and Schebler has it.
Just missed it, but that's a good approach. You know, you get 2-0, you're looking for a pitch in a certain zone. If you get it, turn it loose. If not, take it. You got one in the happy zone, just barely missed it. Center cut. Just got under it a wee bit.
Montero flied to left in the second inning.
Watch a guy like Zobrist play the game, whether it's in the field, running the bases, or his at bats. Rarely are you left thinking, what was he thinking? You know, he's such a smart player.
Action from today. The A's suffered their first road loss of the year, 9-3 at Toronto. Troy Tulowitzki hit a couple of homers for the Jays. Three and one. 3-run homer for Josh Donaldson against his former team. Strike two called. This time he walks.
Buy your ticket now through the Cubs special events page and show your support of the Chicagoland Law Enforcement Night, which is Wednesday, May 11th against the Padres. Tickets will be in the Terraced Reserve outfield and include a special Cubs Law Enforcement baseball cap. For more details, visit Cubs.com/special events. We need to work on our noun markers here. It's not Canada. We're not going to hospital.
Swing and a miss by Baez.
Speaking of which, you referenced to Joey Votto getting the Canadian award. That Tip O'Neill. That's not Tip O'Neill the speaker. That's Tip O'Neill the Canadian who played in the major leagues way back in the day.
Baez, I guess, bunted it off himself. Call made by the home plate umpire, Eddie Hickox. Devin Mesoraco was pointing at first. He was saying throw first, ask question second. Clearly hit his foot.
Got him on the leg last time. This time right off that front foot.
James Edward Tip O'Neill played a decade in the majors way back when. We're talking in the late 19th century.
Do you have a list of the award winner? Have they been giving that out for a while now, this Tip O'Neill award?
Well, I said Larry Walker, I think, has 9. So, yeah.
Terry Poole ever win that award?
I want to find out.
How about Fergie?
A great choice. Hard hit ground ball to the shortstop, and that's what we call tailor-made at this level. 6-4 to 3. Bottom 4. It's 1-0 Cubs. Back here in Cincinnati, and our game summary so far. Addison Russell with a long home run in the second off Dan Straley. John Lackey has retired all 9 to this point. Cubs have outscored the Reds 25-1 in the series. And to pay off the Tip O'Neill Award question you had,
yes,
not only did Terry Poole win that award, he won the first ever Tip O'Neill Award, given out in 1984. So Cozart, Suarez, and Votto, second time through. There were 3 lineouts, 3 strikeouts, only 1 ground ball out. First time through the order.
You think maybe Lackey would change things up and start mixing in more breaking balls early? Not the case here with Cozart. He attacks with the fastball again, gets the jump on him again. He's able to do this because he has such good command. I mean, so it's not always just about pitch selection, but it's about execution. Now he's willing to take a big bite of home plate with that first pitch, especially early in the game where one swing of the bat's not going to beat you. And the other thing he does, he'll change angles with his delivery too, so he'll give the hitter a different look. It may be a fastball, but maybe it's coming from up top, maybe a little low 3/4, a little drop down action he's got. With 168 career wins, Lackey ranks 3rd among active pitchers in the win department, trailing Bartolo Colon and CC Sabathia.
Up and in that time. 2-2. And that'll get down into the left field corner. The Reds have their first base runner and first hit. Cozart with a leadoff double.
Lined out first time up. Scalded that ball. Cozart continues to swing it well. Well, he went down and got that breaking pitch.
So tying run in scoring position with nobody out. Here's Suarez. Outside ball one. Brett Gardner with a game-ending homer for the Yankees today in their 3-2 win over the Rays. Blake Snell got a no decision for the Rays in his major league debut. Left-hander, and some think he's the best prospect in terms of pitchers in the game today.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of that game. Impressive stuff from that young kid. He was going 95, 96. Big curveball.
Described in the game recap as the slim left-hander with the boyish face. Is that accurate?
Yeah, he did have a boyish face. Yeah. How old is he?
23.
Yeah.
And he was optioned to AAA Durham right after the game, which was expected. Just making a spot start.
His dad couldn't be there because his dad's a college coach in the Pacific Northwest. I would have turned that one over to my assistant.
Nothing like making your major league debut at Yankee Stadium. One and two on Suarez. Votto next. Cozart led off the inning with a double. First hit for Cincy. Diving stop. Russell, the throw gets past Rizzo and out of play. So it will be a run for the Reds as they tie it up. My first thought was, I can't believe Russell's actually going to throw it, and then I thought they might get him.
Yeah, he's been charged with a couple errors this year on very difficult plays, a do-or-die play from the hole, and I think he did have a shot. This kid is just a magician defensively.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's a tough read for Anthony. You know, he's so good at picking that ball. Priority has to be to keep it in front to prevent that run from scoring, but he knows if he can pick it cleanly, or at least he felt pretty confident he was going to be able to get the out there at first base.
So 1-1, and now Votto takes a pitch off the inside corner.
It'll be a single and then an error.
That is on the outside edge. It's 1-1. So single and E6.
Is that just the second error charged to Addison? Maybe third.
Off the outside corner.
Aside from one game, comes out of one sloppy game where they committed 4 errors, but other than that, they've been really good.
It's a second.
Yeah, and remember the other one too was a similar play. It was a long throw that skipped by Riz and it popped through a little hole in the fence. Allowed the runner to move up. So 2 very difficult errors charged to Russell. You have to give him the error. You have to account for the runners moving up. I think he wants to step off and think it over here.
3-1 to a dangerous hitter who is off to a slow start. And a swing and a miss on the changeup, which we've seen a lot here this week from Lackey.
Votto thought he was going to get a heater, didn't recognize it.
Chop to Rizzo. Votto was trying to do more damage, but He does make a productive out as he puts his hands on his helmet. He was not real happy with the result. He does move that runner to third, though.
Clark's Crew is the official kids club of the Chicago Cubs. Team up with Clark as a member of Clark's Crew and receive kid-specific perks, experiences, and merchandise. Visit Cubs.com/kids to sign up your young Cubs so they can be part of the fun all season long.
Cubs will bring the infield in against Brandon Phillips. Ball one. Reds have not had a lead in this series. Gets away from Montero, and Suarez is going to stay.
I think this is just going to be a situation where, well, we'll see. We'll see how aggressive Lackey is here on 2-0. But talked about his smarts earlier. He may just tempt Phillips here, see if he'll chase something out of the zone, and if not, go ahead and walk him and set up a double play. He had a sequence against Matt Carpenter of the Cardinals in his last start that was just masterful the way he executed it.
On a breaking ball.
Hooked to finds the bottom of the zone. And the at-bat with Carpenter was a similar situation. A couple guys on base. He wasn't going to give in to him. And he worked everything just off or right on the edge and ultimately got him to chase the changeup down and away. I asked Joe about it the next day. I said, did you give him a sign to pitch around him? He said, not with John. He goes, I just trust him. Just let him do his thing. He knows what needs to be done.
The 3-1 is ripped into the alley, and the Reds do have the advantage. Phillips on his way to second as the run scores. He's trying for three. Relay. Out. Russell. To Baez to get him.
Oh, a beautifully executed relay to get Phillips. Not a bad play on Phillips' part to try to get to third base with one out. Looking all the way to the base of the wall out there. Fowler to Russell, and then that quick tag of Baez. We see it time and time again. He is awfully quick.
Just in the nick of time, they got him. So the Reds do lead 2-1. He's credited with a double and an RBI. 8-6-5 to get him.
If this were roller derby, the Reds would cut off the jam.
One to Bruce is fouled off. 2 outs, bases empty now. Cool night down in the low 60s. Wind not really a factor. And pretty darn close to a sellout. Might be a sellout.
Yeah, a little energy in the ballpark tonight. There hasn't been first couple games of this series.
Swing and a miss to end the inning. But they get 3 hits. Utilize a Cubs error as well and take the lead 2-1.
Are you in charge of planning your next social gathering? Plan a day or evening at Wrigley Field and enjoy special perks only available inside the ballpark.
I got it.
I got this.
Okay.
Only available inside the ballpark. The Cubs offer special ticket packages for groups of 15 or more. Visit Cubs.com/groups.
2-1 Cincinnati. So Dan Straley, who's labored at times, 79 pitches through 4. Getting some help from the second baseman as Addison Russell, who has a home run tonight, takes ball 1. Sometimes you just get the giggles.
Yeah, it's always good, fun stuff happening at the ballpark. Nope.
2-1. Lackey on deck, and then Fowler.
A leadoff double here. Let Lackey move him along. That would be a solid plan. Didn't have to be. It wasn't. That ball was inside. Straley has been more of a fly ball pitcher in his career. The home run ball has been an issue for him.
He was told when he left Western Oregon that he would never play at a high level. That motivated him a ton. He ended up walking out at Marshall as he walks Russell. And when he flew there, it was the first time he had ever been east of Idaho. He's from Oregon. First time he had ever been on a plane.
Yeah, it's an odd path. End up in West Virginia from Oregon.
When he pitched at Marshall, they didn't have a home field. They had to play at a minor league park in Charleston, about an hour away from campus, and practiced on a local YMCA field.
Home of the Charleston Charlies in all likelihood.
Lackey swings away, and he lofts to right, and that's Jay Bruce. Joe doing what we see often, giving that pitcher a shot to swing away before thinking about a bunt. Cubs laid down a couple of squeeze bunts, suicide squeeze by Ross, and then John Lester with a safety squeeze, back to back in the 4th inning. To Dexter Fowler. Russell held by Votto at first, and Straley will throw.
Fowler came into this game with a .500 on base percentage, second best in the major leagues. Been on base in 16 of the 17 games in which he had played, and usually 2 or 3 times on base. The thing about Fowler too, it's not that he's just getting his hits, he is really driving the ball. He's hitting the ball with a lot of authority.
Like that. And Gets by Votto, and the ball stuck somewhere there near that chair as Russell's going to score. And Fowler ends up at third. We're tied at 2. Brandon Phillips is chatting with Mike Estabrook, the first base umpire.
Yeah, the ball boy security guy down there, the ball got tangled up with them, but Mike Estabrook never lost sight of the ball. It wasn't out of play.
So that'll be a double, I believe, for Fowler. He goes to third on the throw to the plate. A tie ball game.
Just beyond the reach of Votto, and then it just gets tangled up with those guys down there. Nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, I was looking at Dexter's first 17 games. It was 17 games into the season. His on-base percentage going into a game has not been below 500. His OPS hasn't been below 1160. I mean, he really has
he's been the one constant where you know a lot of the other guys have kind of gone up and down a little bit. He's been steady and consistent and spectacular. On base 38 times coming into play here tonight. Tops in the major leagues.
Reds bring their infield in against Jason Hayward. 2-2. So they get that run right back. They're trying to get their one-run lead back. Blake Wood, right-hander up for Cincinnati. The pitch. 2-1.
Bit of a gamble here by Brian Price, pulling his infield in the middle of the order up behind Hayward here, but he just does not want to concede anything at this stage of the ball game.
Just foul.
The ball boy and the security guy down there, they can't hide.
Just not sure what
they're on
should
high
do.
alert right now. Yeah.
Do I grab it? Do I let it go?
Like the two-man luge down there.
Full count, 3-2.
Fowler's speed, a fly ball of any depth should get the job done.
Called strike 3. Hayward. Hands on his hips.
Well, little two-seamer, little runner back to the inside corner. It's a tough pitch. Time to vent a little bit.
Infield back. Here's Bryant. Soft liner, base hit. Cubs have the lead again. Fowler in.
Well, that's how you pick up a teammate right there. Obviously easier for that one-out guy. The at-bat with one out to get the job done, but if he doesn't, you can pick him up. It's a beautiful thing.
That's going to be it for Straley. So the Cubs lead this game 3-2, and they're getting ready for the Winter Olympics down there.
The Cubs do offer a free luge check, now located by the Addison Red Line station. For drivers, the Cubs provide free remote parking and shuttle service on night weekend games. For information, visit the A to Z guide at Cubs.com.
Well, it was a very short-lived lead for the Cincinnati Reds. They scored 2 in the 4th. The Cubs have come right back with 2 of their own here in the 5th. So they've chased Dan Straley out of the game, and it's right-hander Blake Wood.
Yeah, the bullpen's been an issue for the Reds so far here early on. There's some very inflated ERAs out there. Of course, you know, this time of year, one bad outing can really give you a pretty ugly earned run average. But Wood's been pretty solid through 9 appearances, 8 innings.
Brandon Phillips during the break telling the lead man, all good.
You're good, man.
There's Anthony Rizzo, runner at first and 2 outs, and the Cubs leading 3-2. It's Bryant at first.
Chris 0 for 2 this year in the stolen base department.
So there was some sort of Twitter flap involving former Red pitcher Sam LeCure. And I guess he had deleted either one or a couple of the tweets. He is now at AAA in the Dodger organization as Rizzo fouls back. He did not mention J.J. Hoover by name, but essentially said, man, I wish I had as long a leash when I was in Cincinnati as some people do. And everybody who read the tweet took it to mean Hoover, J.J. Hoover. Brian Price, after the game last night, basically said he's not interested in sending Hoover to the minor leagues. He still has options. As Phillips makes a catch, and that will end the inning. Cubs 3, Reds 2. Again, Dexter Fowler with the RBI double to tie the game, and then scored the go-ahead run on Chris Bryant's run-scoring single. John Lackey starting his season 3-0. First time he's ever done that. That's a fair ball. Mesoraco running, and Javi Baez throws him out.
Saw the sparkling glove work from Russell earlier. Now Baez in on the act. Boy, great concentration as the ball just skips over the corner of the base. And he steams that throw across the diamond.
Anthony Rizzo's line to his infielders are, I can make that play over there if you throw it low. You bounce it to me, that's fine. And we've seen a few throws over there. Chris Bryant in the no-hitter. Threw about a 7-hopper to him. Yeah, Lackey starting a season 3-0 for the first time. He's trying to win his first 4 starts. If that happens, with Jake Arrieta already 4-0 through 4 outings, it would be the first time the Cubs had 2 pitchers win each of their first 4 starts in the same season since 1918. It was Hippo Vaughn and Phil Douglas. And of course, Phil Douglas would later have 2 sons who would host daytime talk shows. Right?
Yeah, I'm familiar with
Phil Donahue.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Hippo's work. I don't know Phil Douglas.
I'm not familiar with Phil Douglas either. We can find out. Philip Brooks Douglas. They called him Shufflin' Phil. He was 6'3", 190.
He might have been bigger than Hippo.
White Sox, Reds, Cubs, Dodgers, finish with the Giants. Called strike 3. And follow Patrick Mooney, our Cubs insider, all season long on Comcast Sportsnet. Brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. One to Scott Schebler. I mean, we just have all these great notes about this start. 15 quality starts, 17 tries for the rotation, 12 wins by starters in the Cubs' first 17 games. First time they've ever done that. Staff as a whole, starters and relievers leading the majors with a whip of .091. That's walks plus hits per innings pitched. So they're basically giving up less than a runner per inning.
Yeah, it's been an impressive show, and maybe these pitchers haven't gotten their due because the team scored so many runs early. And we talked so much about all the walks they were working. They had the 4 10-run games early on, or 10-walk games rather. But the pitching has been outstanding throughout.
4 1-2-3 innings in the first 5 for John Lackey, leading 3-2. Jones having a long chat with Addison Russell. Talking about that
throwing, I think, yeah.
Zobrist here in the 6th. Cubs with a 3-2 lead. Ben has flied to right and to center. And watches ball 1. White Sox beat the Rangers in 11. RBI single by Jose Abreu was the game winner. Todd Frazier thought he had a game-ending home run in the 9th inning, but Nomar Mazara with a leaping catch in right, steal it away. White Sox are 12-6.
Half a game behind the Royals entering play today. The Royals losing to the Orioles 7-2 in the middle innings.
Colby Rasmus cleared the bases with a home run, knocked in 5 on the day in the Astros 8-3 win at home over Boston. A grand slam in the 5th broke a 1-1 tie. Leadoff walk for Zobrist.
Follow Cubs baseball live with the MLB.com @Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com @Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
Corey Kluber finally got a win. He lost his first 3 starts 10-1. Indians pounded the Tigers in Detroit.
Montero has enjoyed success in this ballpark. .317 lifetime here at the Great American Ballpark. He hasn't homered since I think it was opening day, right, when he hit that home run.
It's been a while. Yep, he homered opening night and has not since. You calling one?
Just feeling one.
Okay.
Feeling one.
Straley went 4 2/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 1 homer allowed. Had to make 97 pitches.
It's kind of the typical starting pitching performance against this Cub lineup this year.
Zobrist with the leadoff walk. 1-2 on Montero with Baez on deck. Reds would like to turn 2 here, and that is bounced foul. Great American Ballpark opened in 2003, placing Riverfront Stadium. It was last known as Synergy Field. That ballpark was demolished in December of '02. And it used to stand where the western concourse of this ballpark and the Reds Hall of Fame are now located.
Yeah, didn't they have to take down part of that stadium while this one was being built?
Yes,
when
they
were
did.
Still playing across the way.
I remember in '02, especially. Phillips will only have a 1 play, so that goes 4-3. Zobrist now is at second with 1 out. The address here at Great American Ballpark is 100 Joe Nuxhall Way here in Cincinnati, in honor of the late pitcher and longtime broadcaster.
The old left-hander rounding third and heading for home.
Joe was a wonderful guy, passed away just after the 2007 season. Another one to Phillips, back of second, as Zobrist is now at third, 2 outs. Joe, most known for the fact that he made his major league debut at 15 years old in 1944.
Yeah, during the war, and he was a great interview because you could just say, "Hey, Joe, how about when you were the youngest guy to be a major league, and you just hold the microphone out, and about 10 minutes later, oh, thanks, Joe." And he tell you the story about the war years. The teams were looking for help, and they were actually scouting his dad playing in a local league here, an amateur league, and they went to look at his dad, and Joe was on the team and came in to pitch. And they said, "We like this kid too," and they liked his arm, and they signed him. He suited up for home games only, and he pitched, I believe, just once that year, and then went back and did his normal school thing, and then 7 years later he returned to the big leagues.
And he would be an all-star in 1955 and 56.
But how cool is it? You're strolling down the halls of 8th grade, 9th grade, and you're like, "Oh yeah, pitcher for the Reds this weekend."
From Hamilton, Ohio. So Russell takes the walk, and here comes pitcher Lackey.
I wonder if Joe will have Russell run here. There's a Lackey hitting. There's a good chance the Reds won't throw through. Taking all the way there.
Yeah, the quote from Joe Nuxhall was pitching against 7th, 8th, and 9th graders, kids 13 and 14. All of a sudden, I look up, there's Stan Musial and the likes. It was a very scary situation. Ground ball, Votto knocks it down with a glove save, and that will be the inning. Cubs strand a couple on walks. They lead this one by just 1.
Go. Don't miss your chance to catch the best matchups in baseball. Join the season ticket holder waiting list. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list.
John Lackey getting ready for the 6th inning has been pretty sharp to this point. In fact, 4 of the 5 innings he has not allowed a base runner. Gave up 2 in the 4th inning. And he will face a pinch hitter in the pitcher's spot. It's Tyler Holt. One walk, 16 strikeouts this week for John Lackey on this road trip.
And for the season now, 27 punch outs against just 5 walks.
And the pitch, it's a strike. Nice work by Blake Wood. An inning and a third. Just the 2 walks, but no runs.
This is John's 11th career start against Cincinnati. He's 4-2 of the 274. Would have seen him a lot the last couple of years with the Cardinals. Pitched against him back in 07 in interleague play. And the catcher for the Reds in that ball game was David Ross. John broke in way back in 2002.
Won a World Series that year. In fact, he was the winning pitcher in Game 7 for the Angels, and on that coaching staff was Joe Madden. Two and two the count. Got some minor league notes at 4 levels. Just a few highlights. Wilson Contreras, Cubs' top catching prospect, batting .400 in his first 12 games at AAA. Bijan Rodemaker having that great start at AA Tennessee, batting .425. And Fowler will have to play it on a hop. And Holt will stop with a leadoff single. Cubs first 2 draft picks from last year. Ian Happ, he's at High A Myrtle Beach, hitting .317, playing mostly second base. He was signed as an outfielder. And outfielder Donnie Dewey's is Cubs' 2nd-round pick last year. Off to a nice start at South Bend. He's batting .364. We'll give you fewer minor league updates than we might have 2 or 3 years ago. And guys like Bryant, Baez, later Addison Russell, Schwarber were in the system, but still very important. As Cozart deposits one into right, that'll send Holt to third, and the Reds have him at the corners with nobody out, trailing by only 1.
Yeah, John's going to have to pull a rabbit out of his hat here to keep this 1-run lead now. Back-to-back singles. This ball moving in on Cozart. Man, is he seeing it well. Quick, boy. It's a line out a double, and now fights that pitch off and hits it pretty sharply the other way.
Well, he was always known as a guy with a good glove, but didn't provide much offensively. But before he got hurt last year, was putting together a really nice season at the plate. And he's been even better rate-wise to start this season. This will tie it at the very least. That is trouble, and it is gone. A Eugenio Suarez with a 3-run homer. And it's 5-3 Reds.
Oh, that just came up out of nowhere. Impressive work by the Reds hitters in this inning. Holt the pinch hitter, then Cozart and Suarez ambushed Lackey here in the bottom of the 6th. Fastball middle of the plate, down a little bit. Suarez, who got off to such a great start in the power department this year, hits number 5.
you those Suarez numbers earlier. He hit 4 homers in his first 8 games and had done very little since. It's the big home run. 1-1 on Votto. Bullpen now busy as Trevor Cahill come and catch in a hurry. Just the 3rd non-quality start in 18 tries for the Cubs rotation. Line drive center field. That's 4 consecutive hits to start this inning. Here comes Chris Bosio, as Brandon Phillips is due.
Great example of the approach of Joey Votto there, just choking up, using his hands.
So after what has been a pretty rare visit from the pitching coach to start this season, Lackey will try to dial up the double play ball here. Clayton Richard has joined Cahill. And the pitch, it's a strike. Foul tip, 0-2. Phillips checked his swing. Rob Butcher, longtime media relations chief here in Cincinnati, and his staff, when they put out their game notes every day, on the left side of the front page they have a thing called Red Hots. It's got a lot of lists, and you look at one of these heritage franchises in the National League and the rankings and where Phillips and Votto and Bruce are. Brandon Phillips is 8th on the all-time games played list, just behind Frank Robinson for 7th. He's closing in on the top 10 all-time in RBIs. That's low and outside. You mentioned, I think it was last night, all the starts these two guys have made together on the right side of the infield. This is the 989th time Joey Votto and Brandon Phillips have started together. That's a club record over on the right side of the infield. Bruce is 7th on the all-time homer list, as that's the double play he wanted. Unconventional, as Phillips lines to Lackey, and Phillips and Votto play together, and they're going to walk off the field together here. 2 outs.
And they'll enter opposite ends of the dugout. Phillips stings this one, but right back to Lackey, and the rest is easy.
Got 3 of the top 13 home run hitters in franchise history in Bruce, Votto, and Phillips. And while it has not been the Big Red Machine, it's been a lot of continuity in that regard. Bruce and Phillips have been involved in trade reports. Not Votto, because he's got a really long contract. Three and 0 on Bruce.
Votto is signed through 2023, plus an option for the following season.
He will turn 40 when that contract expires.
Phillips is signed through next year. He's got a limited no trade clause in his contract. Apparently he can block a deal to 10 clubs.
Bruce takes the walk. Phillips, the only of the three who has not spent his whole career in this organization. Was actually drafted by the Expos and had some time in Cleveland. And has made his mark in a Reds uniform. That'll be it for John Lackey. He'll exit with 2 outs in the 6th, and we'll be right back. Back home at Wrigley Field and ready for a 3-game series. Game 1 against the Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers and Cubs starting Tuesday at 7 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Brewers went into play at 7 and 10. And they're trailing at home 6-4 to the Phillies in the 4th.
A strange night for John Lackey. Started the game by retiring the first 9. He had 4 clean innings. He gave up a couple in the 4th and then just got ambushed here in the 6th. And I guess it's just a byproduct of that aggressive nature. He challenges the strike zone and he's going to have a lot of real clean innings. And sometimes they fall in. In the case of Suarez, it flew over the fence.
As Rocco the batter. And Bruce dives back. Very strange start for Lackey. Had some innings that didn't last very long. 1-2-3, 1-2-3, and then the 4th and the 6th were the problem areas tonight. And I think the other thing, That's a 4-game series. You don't expect to give up 2 runs the entire weekend against this Reds team.
Yeah, that's the other part of it too. You forget, they're facing major league hitters when the no-hitter followed by a shutdown game by Lester, and the way this game started with 9 consecutive outs, you think, well, these guys just aren't going to score.
Mesoraco to the opposite field. So that goes against the pull shift the Cubs had implemented. And it'll bring up Duvall with 2 on.
It's been slow going for Mesoraco in the early going. A 132 batting average coming into play here tonight. A couple of years ago, he led all major league catchers in home runs and RBI. 25 home runs, 80 RBIs, and just hoping to recapture some of that magic. Cahill, a former starting pitcher, so he's got a good variety of pitches. Capable of giving you multiple innings out of that bullpen. He had committed to playing collegiately at Dartmouth before signing a professional contract.
That ball's crushed deep left, and it's going to go. Adam Duvall with the Reds' second 3-run homer here in the 6th inning. And they busted it open. It's 8-3.
Rise up. That's I believe should have been, it was trying to be a sinker, but it was across the top of the zone, belt high. Had some run, but not sink. Duvall has plenty of power. Had some big home run seasons as a minor leaguer. Plays add-on.
Schebler, the 9th batter of the inning. They have scored 6 times on 2 home runs.
Well, 6 runs charged to John Lackey here tonight.
Season high 8 runs allowed. Previously, the Cubs had allowed 6 runs twice. This is only the 4th time in 18 games the Cubs have allowed more than 3 runs. High and deep to right. Hayward back at the wall. He leaps. He can't get it. It's a home run. Scott Schebler goes yard. First of the year, 4th of his career. He hit 3 with the Dodgers last year. And now it's Tyler Holt.
Run differential's taking a bit of a hit here in the 6th.
It was plus 67 going into tonight. Espacio on the phone again.
Remember, the 2 outs in the inning came on the line drive comebacker. And Lackey was able to double Votto off first base. Neil Ramirez with some urgency getting ready in the pen.
Tyler Holt, remember, was a pinch hitter when he came up the last time. That ball hit to deep left, little leap, and the catch by Bryant to finally end the inning. They put up 7 on 3 home runs. It's 9-3. With 3 homers and 7 runs in the 6th inning. So the 7 runs in the 6th inning alone, more than the Cubs had previously allowed in any game to date. This is an offense that, especially in this ballpark, you don't ever really feel like you're totally out of it. So they've got 3 innings to go. Suarez, Duvall, and Schebler all with the home runs. But the 3-run homers in particular really kill you. Here's Caleb Cotham.
And the Cubs had allowed only 7 runs on the road trip coming into this ball game tonight. Cotham, right-hander, over from the Yankees in the Aroldis Chapman deal. It was fastball, slider, curveball. Well, can't blame him for that inflated bullpen ERA. He's put up very good numbers.
Holt stays in. He plays center. And the 0-1 off the plate inside. And remember, if this game gets tight late, they don't really have a closer. They're just going with matchups or whoever's next in line. It will not be J.J. Hoover in the 9th inning tonight. Fowler with a little bloop shot, fair ball, and then finds the other luge tandem. That's a double.
The guy went down out there too, trying to get his folding chair out of the way. He took a spill.
Everybody's all right. Good start to the 7th.
Just a little dying quail spinning their way. Down he goes. That's unfortunate. He's okay though.
Hayward fouls. Have to send those trousers to the dry cleaners. I can tell you what, with the bullpen issues the Reds have had, I don't think Brian Price is sitting in the dugout chalking this one up just yet.
He doesn't. Oh yeah, his bullpen in this Cub lineup. Mesoraco not particularly subtle, is he, about trying to pull that ball back into the strike zone? You know, the best guy is very nuanced the way they just kind of cradle the pitch.
Three and one. Bryant on deck.
Didn't have to be. Boy, Hayward got rung up on a pitch last time, but maybe just caught the inside corner. This time, strike two appeared to be a good bit off that outside edge. Cotham, a rookie, had 12 appearances for the Yankees last year, all in relief. And that is the extent, or was the extent, of his major league service time prior to this year.
Left center field. And a base hit. Good read by Fowler. He's on his way to the plate. The throw there will be cut off as Mesoraco is thinking about Hayward at second. It's an RBI single for Hayward, and it's 9-4.
And Duvall throwing that ball home allows Hayward to get into second base, takes away the double play. Good send there by Gary Jones, and I'm sure Brian Price will tell his young left fielder, hey man, big lead.
Yep.
Don't worry about that run. Keep the double play in order.
So these two teams' fan bases dueling chants here as you can faintly hear "Let's Go Cubbies" and the Red fans responding in kind. 9-4. And still nobody out. Cotham's 0-1. Ground ball, backhanded play. Cozart with Hayward at second. Out at first. Joel will take a look with the video guys.
And Brandon Hyde immediately pointing to the dugout.
Thought he looked out at first glance, and I think he is out. So one away. And Joel will not challenge, it appears. So he goes back into the dugout. Good play by Cozart.
Four has been the magic number for the Cubs this year, and scoring 4 or more. 12-0 coming into play tonight.
Well, let's see if they can keep that record intact. They're going to have to score 10 though to do it. Rizzo came in having homered in 3 consecutive games. He is tied with Sean Dunston for 18th on the all-time Cubs homer list with 107. Jody Davis is next on the list. He's 17th. He's got 122 as a Cub.
The very right-leaning Reds bullpen. It's kind of ironic if you think about it. The one left-hander, Tony Cingrani.
Yes. Delayed reaction on my part. Rizzo lines it foul.
No, so if this were a closer ball game, maybe Cingrani would have been getting hot for potential confrontation with Rizzo. 5-run lead buys Brian Price a little time before he has to make a decision of that nature.
Well, there was a brief amount of time, right, when they were known as the Red Legs, not the Reds.
Yeah.
For political reasons. During the Cold War. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, you have the Cubs trying to beat the Reds and the Blackhawks trying to beat the Blues tonight. 2 down. Here's Ben Zobrist. Pitch to Zobrist is high on a fastball. Hayward, bottom of your screen with an RBI single in this inning. Zobrist would love to get him home. You don't have to get it all back here, but at least a couple would be nice.
Zobrist finds himself in a lot of hitters counts. He walked last time. Previous at bat, he had a 2-0 count, hit a deep drive to center field.
And that will be a base hit. And Hayward coming around third. Jay Bruce with a throw, and it's way over the catcher Mesoraco, and that allows Zobrist to get into scoring position. Well, you've got these Reds outfielders right now, JD, trying to make a super play.
Yeah, I think it's And Bruce has been around a long time, and he's got a big arm, and guys with big arms like to make throws. We had that highlight of Puig's throw earlier, and I think that desire to do something heroic got the best of him. Again, you know, if he makes a good throw, he maybe has a shot at it, but the game situation says, you know, keep that back runner out of scoring position.
Pitching coach Mark Riggins.
And that's what justifies the send there too by Gary Jones. You say, well, why are you sending a guy when you're down, you know, 5 runs? Why you could be aggressive there? Because if you feel comfortable your guy can score, you got to know your base runner. You feel like, you know, we're going to score, and if they airmail the throw, overthrow the cutoff man, then my back runner gets into scoring position, and a base hit gets us one more closer.
There's some fireworks going on nearby in the neighborhood. And I guess it's an appropriate time considering the Reds scored 7 in the 6th, and the Cubs have come back with 2 here in the 7th. Montero, sky high to center, and it's Holt to make the catch, and that's the inning. Stretch time. Cubs do get 2, trailing 9-5. Cincinnati got some fireworks going off in the distance.
Love American style.
You kids out there, you can Google that.
Well, Cubs have a fighting chance the way they've been swinging the bats, the scuffling of the Reds bullpen. Obviously have to hold the Reds down, and Neil Ramirez will be the next man out of the chute for the Cubs. 4 appearances so far this year. Good work so far for Neil.
It's a sellout tonight, 41,660.
Cozart's been spot on tonight. He lined out first time up, double single since, sneaking up on 400.
Got to keep the Reds right where they are. swing roller foul.
Good pitch.
He struck him out looking. 93 on the fastball. And well located.
This is a dart. Outer third, bottom of the knees.
Got that call on Suarez, who hit the big 3-run homer to give the Reds the lead in the 6th. And they would tack on later in the inning. Ramirez has a sign. Montero sets up toward the outside. And we got another call. Well framed. 2-2. See, 1 and 4 of the called strikes. Those really have to be caught extremely well to get a called strike, since they're out of that box.
Yeah, and if you're set up inside and reaching across to catch that pitch, the likelihood that you get it is pretty remote. It's kind of a contradiction, but the catcher needs to have soft hands, but he has to have really strong hands. You can't let the ball take you away from where you're trying to present that pitch to the umpire. Quiet body, quiet hands back there.
Ball 4 ahead of Votto. Kick and the pitch. It's in tight. That's a strike, as Montero thought about firing the first. Suarez was not too far off the bag. Cubs being out hit 10-7. They've been out homered 3-1.
Suarez 3 for 3 in the stolen base department this year.
Outside that time, a lower leg kick. As Ramirez tried to be quicker to the plate with that runner at first. Phillips on deck.
Normally with Votto, you'd probably be sending Suarez here.
High fly ball out into deep right. And Hayward will watch this one get out. Second homer of the year for Joey Votto. 11-5.
You could say normally you'd be sending Suarez there because you could count on contact for ball 4 from Votto, but he's been swinging and missing a lot here in the early going. Clearly not the case here. He gets liftoff using those legs and generating a lot of power.
He's had some huge games against the Chicago Cubs in his career. He's been doing a lot of soul searching here lately, off to a terrible start, but he's had some good swings here the last couple of nights.
Told you had to be careful with him on his bobblehead night.
Yep, you did. That's a fair ball. Look out, guys. And the throw to second. A little late, apparently. And a double for Phillips. Ball dudes have been running for cover all night.
Yeah, I don't know. Since that first play, it's amazing how many times they've come into play here tonight. Hayward gets off another very strong throw. Phillips just in ahead of the tag.
Intentionally walk Bruce with a base open, and Mesoraco on deck.
So this is the anniversary of the first major league game played at Weidman Park. You know it as Wrigley Field now. The Chicago Whales are Chi-Feds of the Federal League hosting the Kansas City Packers.
1914?
1914. 21,000 folks on hand, about 2,000. This is according to Baseball Reference, about 2,000 of whom stand and watch in a cordoned-off outfield section.
So it was 2 years ago today. We had the throwback day against the Diamondbacks, right? They were kind enough to wear the Kansas City Packer throwbacks.
Here's a little factoid I didn't know. After 2 innings of play, Packers starting pitcher George Howard Murphy Johnson is served with an injunction by the Cincinnati Reds. He had jumped the Reds a few days earlier. He was forced to leave the game. The Whales went on to win 9-1.
Phillips with a good read, and he'll get to third on a wild pitch.
Freese is kicked up a little bit.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's the second out. Both outs have been on strikeouts here in this inning. And it will bring up Adam Duvall. He hit a 3-run homer in the 6th. That was off Trevor Cahill.
So Maeda guy for the Dodgers is dealing again tonight.
Kenta Maeda. Swing and a miss on a slider.
5 shutout so far tonight for Maeda. He now has an ERA of 0.38. Dodgers lead the Rockies 4-zip. They're in the 6th. And Tyler Chatwood, who pitched so well against the Cubs, out after 4 innings. I hadn't heard of Maeda prior to this. Had you heard much about him?
Prior to tonight?
No, prior to coming to the States this year.
No, I hadn't. I was about ready to say to you, we've been talking about Maeda for the last 2 months. But now I know what you meant.
A.J. Ellis with a home run in that ball game.
Jordan Pacheco on deck. Long inning for Neil Ramirez. This will be his 30th pitch. And here it comes. And it's fouled out of play. One, two, fouled off.
Neil, 26 years of age. He'll turn 27 next month. From Virginia Beach.
So Ramirez strikes out 3 in the inning, but he did give up a 2-run homer to Joey Votto, and it's now 11-5. Pirates hitting the ball out of the ballpark tonight. 3 homers in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. Votto the latest. And they've got their second 6-run lead of this night. And Caleb Cotham, who gave up a couple of runs in the 7th, is going to pitch again here to start the 8th.
All 3 times Baez has grounded out tonight. Once a double play, sharply hit ball to short.
Albert Almora Jr. is homered tonight. That's past the mound. Baez hustling and is out by half a step. Cozart gets him.
Now, Almora finished strong last year, and nice to see him getting off to a good start here this season. Talented kid.
Hefty home run. Addison Russell is the only homer for the Cubs. This gave them the lead early.
Juice that one into the second deck.
Almora went into the game tonight hitting .326.
Jason Hamill, 2-0 with an ERA right at 1. We'll pitch the matinee tomorrow against Big Pasta, Alfredo Simon. His ERA is right at 12.15.
Not above or below.
No,
right at.
Yep. Got some tenderness in his arm. He had that dismal outing at Wrigley.
One and two. Tommy La Stella next. Tommy possibly could get a start tomorrow. A lot of attention here being paid to rehab starts. It was Homer Bailey a couple of nights ago. And Anthony DeSclafani tonight. He's pitching with AA Pensacola. So Russell's aboard. 4th time tonight.
Yeah.
Homer and 3 walks.
Beefing up that on-base percentage. One of those walks intentional. And that's a bad walk there. 1 out, nobody on, 6-run game. Cotham couldn't find the strike zone with that 3-2 offering.
And it will not be La Stella. Instead, it'll be Jorge Soler. First pitch swinging. And Phillips makes the grab. 2 outs here in the 8th. Well, what'll happen this time up? Dexter Fowler's last 2 at bats with doubles into the opposite corners. That was in the 5th.
With those boys sending into panic mode in the 5th. And for good measure, he's going to chase these guys too.
That gets by and allows Russell to get to second. Yakety Sax is playing in your head. You're not alone. One and one on Fowler.
Yeah, sometimes when teams are struggling, they'll come out for a little early work, little early BP, early infield work. These guys are going to come out for a little work tomorrow, getting out of the way of the ball work, folding the chair and heading for cover.
Reds relievers going into the game tonight. 689.
There we go.
Oh, foul.
He's wearing these guys out tonight.
Is it the same guy at the plate as last time? Maybe you might want to put the chair
shifting.
away.
This is, we are shifting a lot in baseball these days, guys. You might want to check the spray charts out. Play a step or two deeper.
Three and two. Wow. 2 walks in the inning.
He's got to be driving Brian Price nuts.
Pitching change here in the 8th. 6-run lead for the Reds. Cubs have 2 on with 2 down. Game 3 of 4 between the Cubs and the Reds this weekend. Beautiful night. Sweatshirt weather. And Chicago area native Tony Cingrani will try to get the final out here in the 8th and may be asked to get the final 4 outs of this ball game.
Definitely be in there for Hayward, and with Rizzo 2 batters later, he may remain in the ball game. Cingrani, yeah, Lincoln Way Central High School. A no-hitter with 20 strikeouts while in high school. Looks to elevate that heater.
It would have been a 7-inning game, right? High school.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Guess it would have been, yeah. Well, whoever didn't punch out should have been drafted. Third-round pick of the Reds in 2011 out of Rice University.
And he closed in his junior year for Rice at 12 saves. So this is not unfamiliar territory. And having said that, he's gone 3-0. Cubs without a hit this inning. But if ball 4 is delivered here, the bases will be loaded for a guy who already has a grand slam in the series. That man right there, Chris Bryant.
And then
The pitch.
that's a little high.
Here comes Bryant.
Yeah, that's just, man, it's he's just got to be churning inside. Three walks issued in the inning with a 6-run lead.
It's scooped on a hop by Suarez. He just robbed Bryant of an RBI hit. Steps on third, forces Fowler, and the inning is over. The Cubs do not score after the bases are loaded with walks. Still 11-5 in the 8th. top of the inning. He'll stay in and play right. And left-hander Clayton Richard will pitch.
A tough night for the Cubs pitching staff here tonight. Clayton on for the 4th time. Only worked an inning and 2/3.
And Cingrani will lead it off. Got bailed out by Eugenio Suarez. Had that nice pick at third to end the top of the 8th.
John Lackey, the starter, 5 2/3 tonight. Was mostly good. One really bad inning his undoing. He's charged with 6 earned runs here tonight. Trevor Cahill allowed 3 runs in a third of an inning, a couple of long balls. Neil Ramirez charged with 2 earned runs in 1 inning of work. He too touched up for a long one, so 4 home runs by the Reds tonight, as they play a little pushback after getting knocked around in their home ballpark for a couple of nights.
Trying to beat the Cubs for the first time this season, and the first time in their last 9 tries. Pitchers of record at the moment are Wood for the Reds, that's Blake, and Lackey for the Cubs. Cingrani did not enter the game in a safe spot. And he draws the walk.
That's a bad walk too.
Cardinal sin.
Developing trend here. When you let the don't enter your mind. Whatever you do, don't walk them.
Strike on Tyler Holt.
Well, Clayton's a ground ball guy. Let's see if we can get a double play here. Holt runs well. Slow ground ball, be tough to get to.
Ladled down the line. Fair. And it gets by Soler, and Cingrani, who had slid into third, will head home. So Soler came in, Hayward out as part of a switch to possibly get Jorge another at bat. And the Reds get another run, 12-5.
Pretty good read by Cingrani on that ball. I think a lot of guys would have held up and taken a little extra time to make sure the ball was going to get down, but a guy who does not have a lot of experience running the bases either made a very good read or a lucky read. Now we're going to appeal third base.
A single for Holt, no RBI, and an error on Soler.
You can scoot. Cubs wondering if maybe he popped up and never did get the base.
Richard with the 1-2. Russell double pumped, and he throws this one away. And now they got Cozart caught. Throw back to first. He's out.
A shot of the moon. Is that a full moon? Feels like a full moon. A lot of bizarre things happening in the game.
I'm sure it's
glove
full.
work here by Addison Russell. Then it was a little difficulty getting the handle, so has to double clutch.
He will get an error, even though they got Cozart. 3-4-3.
Great job by Rizzo hustling back to catch that return throw. Yeah, not quite full, I don't believe.
Infield in. Base hit. That's a routine 4-3 ground out with the infield back. Big night for Suarez. That is his 4th RBI, 4th time he's been on base. 13-5. This has been ugly with a capital UG, and we haven't seen any of these, really, have we? This is the first one.
Well, yeah, real lopsided like this, giving up all these runs. It was the 4-error game at Wrigley, but it didn't feel like this one. Joe's line is they can't all be oil paintings. Two errors in the inning, 3 errors on the night. The thing about this game, it's been ugly on both sides. I mean, the Reds are scoring a bunch of runs, but their pitching's been sloppy with all the walks.
Yep. Make an adjustment. Well, guys like Joey Votto and Anthony Rizzo, they do that depending on the game situation, the count. Two and two. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Two away. Here's Phillips with 2 doubles tonight. Zobrist will throw out Phillips. They've scored 13 times tonight. They've only stranded 3. Presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. Eugenio Suarez with the big 3-run homer that turned this game around. He's knocked in 4, tying his career high on the night. Binny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs.
One of 4 long balls hit by the Reds here tonight.
Here's Matt Caesar to lead off the ninth. Well, I'm going to trust our longtime viewer J-Dub, who tweeted at us, the moon today is in a waning gibbous phase, first phase after the full moon. Okay. I don't know if he is correct or not, but it sounds so specific that I'm going to assume he's right.
It's either waxing or waning. If you look really closely, you'll see Jackie Gleason's face on there.
Again, for you youngsters, you can find the Google machine. Matt Caesar batting for Anthony Rizzo. Not something you'll normally hear, but Cubs are down 8 here in the ninth.
Grounding fastball slider, but he throws a lot of fastballs and he's very effective up in the zone. 4 seamers, gets a lot of swings and misses.
Caesar didn't miss that, but he will be retired on a fly to right. One and one. I'm just thinking about, 8-run deficit. Certain guys, I won't say they give up at bats in this spot, but they'll get swing happy, right? They'll try to.
Yeah, go for it. I'm going to see if I can knock one out of the ballpark, kind of get out of their game a little bit.
And I was thinking just now, I can't imagine Ben Zobrist doing that, and he's not. He's working a quality at bat.
Yeah, he doesn't just. He's not gonna compromise his approach.
That'll get out of play. Juan de Jesus Jr. is in the game playing short. I referenced it when we went to break. The Reds tonight, 13 runs on 14 hits, only 3 left on base. Suarez played that one off to the side and will be charged with an error. Probably won't really matter when it's all said and done tonight, but
it's error number 6 for Suarez, and you see that happen a lot when a guy starts to give ground.
The left on base number can often be misleading. The Cubs have stranded 10 tonight, the Reds 3. But a lot of times it's the opposite. When you have a team scoring 13 runs, they'll strand 10 or 12 just because they have so much traffic.
Yeah, and I tend to discount that number unless it's a low-run game. Like if you score 1 or 2 runs and you've left 9 men on base, then you miss some opportunities. You score 5 or 6 runs in a ball game, offensively you've done your job. Yeah, you may have missed an opportunity, but at the end of the day, that should be enough.
Cubs are 3 for 14 with men in scoring position as Montero strikes out. 2 outs here in the ninth, 5 for 9 for the Reds. There's Javier Baez.
Yeah, and you talk about Zobrist and his approach, and it's it's little stuff, but you want to make that opposing relief pitcher work. You want to build up his pitch count, maybe render him unavailable for tomorrow's game.
Sure. Well, consistency and routine and practice, right, as well.
Yeah, don't get out of your plan. But you'll hear it in the dugout all the time from a losing team. Hey, give them a finish. Just give them a finish. Keep battling. Make them work.
Swing and a miss, and the ball game is over. The Reds, for the first time against the Cubs this season, and going back to last year, it had been a while, as they snap an 8-game losing streak. And these are teams, obviously, you'd like to beat as much as you possibly can, and the Cubs had really dominated them up until tonight.
And it felt like another win the way Lackey was going along, retiring the first 9 men in the ball game, and just an uprising. Give credit to the Reds. They had that one big inning and just turned this game completely around.